Hi, I'm Vinny Fanner, and myself and ObscureNameDigit are giving you a review of Google Pixel 3 XL. I've seen Pixels before, beheld the design quality and the balanced high-end performance, but I've never actually lived with one, and to live with Google Pixel 3 XL is to love it. Whether it's the freshness of warm Android Pie, superb first-time photos, or lack of discernible weakness, Pixel 3 XL is another amazing Android to land in 2018. The handset sports some divisive design decisions, but consumers and reviewers will have their opinion on each one. A gigantic notch, a lack of expandable storage, and a lack of 3.5mm socket are factors to consider. Although none are real deal breakers, even for a SD and 3.5mm warrior like myself. The design hasn't deviated much from the Pixel 2 series. It looks like a notched Pixel 2 XL save for some minor differences. They moved the SIM slot and changed the default colour of the on-off button. The two-tone rear remains, and on our white review model it looks cool from the side or rear, but a little bland up front when the screen is off. Interestingly, the device's dimensions and weight are almost the same as last year's Pixel 2 XL. 0.1 longer, 9 grams heavier, and a year apart surely makes them Irish twins. The rear casing has a matte texture running up till just below the lens, about 7/8 of the way up the device. This leaves a band of gloss across the camera, LED and sensors. A solitary grey Google G resides in the centre near the bottom. 3/4 up the rear, the on-off button is a dusty pastel mint green, and it stands out just enough against the black and white side profile. Simple, but interesting. The matte section is functional too. It sticks ever so slightly to the palm, pads the fingers, lap-sized mirrors, or leather tanned from a vanquished foe, etc. And this security can be harder to find nowadays. With many manufacturers wrapping their devices in slippery glass, Nokia 7 Plus and Google Pixel 3 XL deserve credit for their respective teams actually holding their devices during testing. Slim but still hand-friendly, Google Pixel 3 XL doesn't feel like a big phone, even though a screen size of 6.3 inches is obviously large. But the extra real estate is a little wasted by the biggest notch this writer has ever seen. The same complaints stand. It removes space for notification badges, it's visually unappealing, etc., but many premium phones now sport one, Xperia XZ3 being a notable and honourable exception. Hopefully we'll get used to them before they fall out of fashion. Android Pie 9.0 has some new useful features and a new streamlined interface, but also a couple of needless changes. Slices is easily the best thing to come from Pi. Full screen previews of other open apps is something that media types and boards addicts will appreciate greatly. The familiar 3-button navigation has been replaced with a solitary button to swipe for back, forward, previous apps and the app drawer. It's a whole lot swipier, a word I totally didn't just make up there. But the new layout is supposedly easier for one-handed operation of a phablet with fewer awkward thumb movements to move about the UI. The handset features sidebound functionality like HTC U11 and XZ3, but it's only ever used to open Google Assistant or to mute the device. Just give Pixel a little squeeze and say how do you do or something that Assistant might actually be able to help you with. Maybe Google will find better uses for Active Edge or rather allow us to find some. As it stands, the squeezable feature will massage a few people toward Google Assistant though. Google Pixel 3 XL excels with point-and-click captures. Much like Huawei P20 Pro, 3XL levies AI and frame composites to deliver what it thinks a user wants to see. While Huawei uses a spatial mix with 3 different lenses, capturing 3 different frames, Pixel 3XL uses a temporal blend of shots to create an impressive snap impressively often. The system uses up to 8 captures captured sequentially with different settings, object, lighting and contrast recognition as interpreted by the AI to determine how each frame is set up. As demonstrated by my bro from another mode, John Riley of theeffect.net, walkabout photography is incredible. The dual pixel sensor can capture more detail or more light as the pixel size changes. By using the two in quick succession and by compositing, you get the best of both. A similar system was used on the HTC U11 series. The result is a striking artistic look to almost anything. Without messing with bokeh, animated filters or posing with Iron Man, Pixel 3 XL will be loved by Instagrammers and others who demand aesthetically pleasing shots quickly and regularly. From the pocket shots are what the vast majorities of users will capture. Pixel 3 XL's filter suite are almost an afterthought when the simplest of shots emerge in such an excellent state. But for those who take the plunge like Marty Meany, using Iron Man as a bodyguard and such will make you chuckle. Photo Booth is a neat auto capture that detects smiles and other distinct facial poses, leaving users hands-free and not beating a timer into position. Playground is AR with Marvel, Last Jedi characters and other animated forms to play and pose with. It's a novelty that will wear off quickly for adults, but children will enjoy Dancing Burger and X-Wing for a lot longer. This digital horseplay can be captured with 2.1 megapixel stills or 1080p 60 video of about 30 seconds duration. Users can create a photosphere easily, though the effect is limited in its ability to stitch geometrically complex scenes. Desks or large objects that protrude towards the camera present a particular problem and usually lay the flatness of the sphere illusion bare. Users who want more complex options might have a little trouble getting used to the dearth of settings to fiddle with. Exposure and ISO are condensed into a single slider along the top of the viewfinder should you want to wrestle control from the AI. 3x zoom is excellent. The single lens optical zoom matches similar multi-lens 3x systems. The 5x digital zoom benefits from noise reduction and 8-frame composite system. Super Res is an impressive feature. These systems also create low light or high contrast captures that match the best in the range. Night Shot and Super Res may not be used all that often by the average consumer, but they are interesting tools for pocket photographers to tinker with. Despite a seemingly minimal upgrade to specs, the improvements are worthy. 4 gigs of RAM is still our lot, but clock speeds of the faster processors in the octa-core CPU move from 2.35 GHz to 2.5 GHz, while the slower ones lose a couple of steps. This presents a more efficient setup, allegedly. I found that Pixel 3 XL is capable of anything you throw at it during a workday, with a few hours of entertainment thrown in. The OS is smooth and the Pixel 3 ate up multiple apps with gratitude. The Adreno 630 GPU is not exactly new, but it is a great choice. The A630 finds itself in plenty of high-end gaming phones and has proven in rendering demanding titles like PUBG or Arc SE Mobile Editions locked or almost locked to the target 60 FPS. It all adds up to the premium Android experience you should probably expect in a Premium Plus smartphone. The aforementioned improvements to hardware efficiency are met with a slightly smaller battery than Pixel 2 XL. Pixel 3 XL has good staying power, but it's not a standout. With a much smaller battery than P20 Pro and newly released Mate 20 Pro, Pixel 3 XL will still see bedtime with some juice left for above average users like myself, but no more. This makes the battery life the weakest area of the device, despite a wholly acceptable performance. Power users can expect the charger well before bed, while lighter users will feel the adaptive battery more than others. The feature is mainly just the AI switching off things and dimming your screen, but the less you use your device, the more it seems to save. What's funny is that Google handed the means to milk a battery to its Android rivals with the Pi 9 update, yet they still went for a smaller capacity. The most interesting specifications are probably the 1440p screen, the 4 gigs of memory, the choice of 64GB of RAM or 128GB of RAM. Just 2 choices, no more. And there's no expandable storage, as I've probably mentioned 18 times already. Pixel 3 XL download speeds over LTE can reach 1.1 gigabits per second. This beats competitors in the premium range of around 400 to 800. 3 colours, black, white and pale gold, all come with the same battery size of 3430 mAh, which is a drop of 90 mAh from Pixel 2 XL. Some Android veterans might find the omission of a microsd slot to be bothersome. The 64GB storage version of the handset will fill up quickly if his user is into photography or high-res audio, and both of these are relatively common pursuits. Forcing a significant subset of customers to be reliant on cloud storage in countries with pockets of abysmal connectivity is not a good choice, especially when Huawei have put expandable storage back into their premium line, albeit with microSD, but a new standard based on nano SIM. Skipping the 3.5mm socket in favour of BT or USB-C bothers me more. When using the charger, the USB-C option is gone as there is no pass-through for power. Bluetooth uses more power, especially to maintain a perfect connection while walking at the pace that I do. The sound quality has reached virtual parity under ideal conditions, but step-downs can be heard when the connection is weak. The giant notch will be seen as hideous by some and pointless by others, and the rest just won't mind. Users can hide it all with a simple fix by developers' tools. You are still better off knowing just how large the indentation is, even if you fit in the latter category. At the very least, Pixel 3 XL's notches carry 2 lenses and one of 2 stereo front-facing speakers. Despite some issues, this writer found it worth the minor workarounds. Carrying a dongle for music and foregoing music while it charges are not deal breakers. Having to delete or move files to the cloud a little more regularly is another minor inconvenience that just doesn't take enough shine off of Google Pixel 3 XL. To round it off, Google Pixel 3 XL marks Pixel's official debut in Ireland, and it comes in with quite a splash. The body, UI, camera quality and premium performance are all something to write home about. Thanks for watching. If you've got all the way to the end and have any questions, leave them in the little comment section below. If you love the notch, hate the notch, or are sick of people talking about the notch, please comment. Don't forget to leave a little like or dislike if you hate my face, and head on over to elitegamer.com to read my words without hearing my irritating voice.